Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. This is our Path of the Damned Herald run, episode 107. We are in Seeker, Slayer, Survivor. We were getting our asses kicked, and then we ended up having to swap to the A team with Constantine. We did keep Constantine in. But yeah, we just couldn't hang with the other team. That being said, we actually do want to swap out a little bit of gear from Merke. Merke has the crit ring, so we're gonna go pull that real quick. I forgot to take it off initially.
What can I interest? Of course.
The light will guide me.
Except, just want to pull that ring off real quick. Even the next. The hat as well. maybe like all the things. Maybe not all the things, but a lot of things.
What can I? Of course.
Okay. Party management, swap. Bring Shody back in. Alright. Alright. Should be good. And we're gonna check Adair. Basically, Adair is the idea for putting most of this stuff. So we need the crit ring in. Lone Wolf's actually pretty good. I think the crit ring is going to do us quite a bit better. The first few criticals, that's actually really strong. I don't know if what were we were using this Necklace of the Harvest Moon. Yeah, I don't think that's worth. No, we'll stick with our increased crits. Captain's Eye is good, but I think definitely we want to swap over to the hat. Ugh! Yeah, fair favor. It's not going to affect the mace, but it will affect the saber, so that should be good. Very cool. Sweet. Also, let's put some trinkets on. We don't have trinkets on anybody. Okay.
What do you think, Ishi?
Should be good. We've got. I don't remember anyone going down. This seems like horseshit.
I'd be glad.
Are they? Is there a way to like affect? Oh no! I'm sorry. We absolutely did go down because people went down repeatedly because of that fucking monk. That was the thing. Forgot about that. That whatever that monk was doing was intense. My God! Oof. It's probably gonna be the last glass. Starting to feel the effects. Starting to feel the effects.
What can I do?
All right, we fulfilled our bloodletting. Now it's time to jump into. I think Seeker, Slayer, Survivor has us do a bunch of different side quests for the 3 different aspects of Tawomawai. The pool of memories water seems more luminescent than before, and Humaire, is it Humaire? I don't remember. Gestures towards the font with an open palm.
Congratulations, contender. Having endured the rite of passage, you earned the privilege to compete with other proven hunters.
She scoops a talisman from the pool and holds it dripping before you.
This token represents you and no other. Wear it proudly. It shall drink the essence of your actions, your triumphs, and your accomplishments. That the souls within these sacred walls will recognize them on your return.
She presses the bangle into your hands with a toothy smile. Crucible token. Grants Kuzawari's call. The wielder challenges an enemy, gaining bonus damage against that enemy while receiving less damage from that enemy's attacks. Cool. Granted to those who complete the Crucible's rite of passage, this mark is given to the warriors found worthy by the Faces of the Hunt, the mystical patrons that oversee the games. Sweet. Constantine watches you handle the talisman with a mixture of longing and repulsion on his normally sanguine face. Honored.
And we are honored to have such a talented hunter in our midst, Good Watcher. Your next challenge will take you outside the walls of this arena. The island demands an offering, something to feed the pool of memories. Some relics sacred to this place have been taken and need returning, and others undiscovered await a hunter capable enough to find them.
She smirks, her serrated teeth barely visible between her cracked lips. Just how many of these sacred objects am I supposed to find?
It is assumed you will hunt with reckless abandon, and return all that you can, if only for the thrill of the pursuit. As for what is required, contenders are expected to return at least one relic sacred to the Seeker, Slayer, or Survivor, whichever face best aligns with the hunter within you.
I've seen the captain's hunting face a time or two before. He's a fierce one.
Maya? That's private conversation there. Shodi nibbles on her lips to hide a spreading smile. Does this mean the Crucible has accepted me? Or do I talk to the Faces?
You survived the rite of passage, but you are yet shark bait to the Faces. But now you can begin to demand their attention through your actions.
Say nothing. She lowers her voice and leans close. She smells of sweat and heat.
Each area of the island draws the attention of a particular aspect of Tawamawai. While you scour the island, watch as only a watcher can.
She straightens.
Speak with Ngari, keeper of memories, in preparation for your hunt. He will set the path before you. Return with your trophy, contender, and may Tawamawai guide your way.
She bows her head and turns away. Sweet.
Absolutely.
Slim for an Amawa, the man before you boasts warm avuncular? Avuncular? I have never seen that word in my life. Avuncular.
Avuncular.
Avuncular. It's an adjective relating to an uncle. What? Are you kidding me? It basically means uncle-ly. Like, looking like an uncle would or should. Are you kidding me? Avuncular. What the fuck? It's the assumption that an uncle should be kindly or genial. Interesting. Kind, patient, generous, especially to younger people. Huh. That you learn new words every day. Good to know. Fucking avuncular. man. I consider myself relatively I consider myself buzzed. I consider myself relatively well read. Like, I don't have a tiny vocabulary. I don't have a massive vocabulary. I'm not like I use so many big words. But avuncular has never been on my radar before. That's like, yeah. That's out of left field. Anyways. Gray patches his tightly curled black hair. He smiles warmly at your approach.
Greetings, friend, and welcome. You stand before the Keeper of Memories.
Bows slightly at the waist. His attention falls to the dwarf at your side.
And Constantine, too. How exciting.
Been a while, Agari.
You two know each other?
Only well enough to not trust him at my back in a fight.
I'd rather stand face to face anyway.
You seem odd for a Juana.
That isn't surprising. I have strode many nations, spoken to many kith, learned their tales and their traditions.
He smiles.
Not every Juana takes so great an interest in the other peoples of Aeorn. Fewer still have the means to pursue that interest.
We gotta find Kana. Let him know someone's trying to steal his angle.
That's a good point, actually.
Pretty sure Ishi and I were thinking the same thing.
You keep memories?
Don't everyone keep memories?
Those vanquished in the Crucible leave behind their weapons and armor, both often laden with memories of life.
Ah, you keep more than just memories, then.
It falls to me to keep and protect those trappings and recollections.
Doesn't seem far off from torture to me.
Everyone believes they know my work better than I do.
He chuckles. How do you preserve memories from these items?
We first wash the items in the pool, and in doing so, give the memories to the souls of this place. Thus do their deeds live on beyond
cats.
them.
The mama has stolen
Most
the cats.
items carry little more than the strongest memories of their use.
He plucks dismissively at his tunic as if to indicate its baseness.
A few, however, abundant with essence and charged with purpose, retain unusual attributes. These I care for, curate, and purvey to those worthy of their enchantments.
With a warm smile, he runs a finger along one of the blades. These would be the artifacts Humer mentioned.
The Crucible recreates battles and conflicts of old, that today's hunters may hone their skills. The pool of memories is the library for these histories. These stories aren't told to the Crucible. Instead, items held by those who performed great deeds echo with these accomplishments.
Okay.
The pool of memories absorbs the past from them. As a contender, you will be expected to recover at least one of these relics.
I got a whole host of them in my backpack. You want like 5? Should be good, right?
I can point you in the right direction, but first I must ask, which of the faces of the hunt do you seek to appease?
Tell me more about the faces.
The faces represent the tripartite existence of Tuamawai, the Slayer God, the Seeker God, the Survivor God. Foreigners conflate them with the Changeling for good reason. He cannot be reduced to any single thing. The Stelgar embodies the Slayer aspect, the Seeker is represented by the Spider, and the Boar reflects Tuamawai's Survivor aspect. It is right and proper to respect all three, but all Crucible contenders must eventually make a choice and accept their true face.
Tell me about the face that resembles the spider.
The seeking face represents the mastery of the chase, the understanding that slaughter without gain or purpose is wasteful. It is the hunter that must think in seasons, not seconds. Young warriors think the spider odd. It sits still, it does not seek, is oft said. But the spider understands the art of the seeker so well that its prey comes to it.
Tell me about the face that resembles the Stelgar.
That is the slaying face. The aspect of Tuamawai fixated on the mastery of the life or death dance, where all things are decided. Deadly in a group or by itself. Hungry or sated, the Stelgar is possessed of uncanny focus and purpose. A wise hunter admires and fears the Stelgar in proper measure.
Tell me about the face that resembles the boar.
The boar is the surviving face, the aspect of Tuamawai that reminds us that victory without survival is almost always meaningless. While all manner of cowards excel at survival, the boar is both courageous and resilient, traits all hunters should aspire to.
Why can't a warrior embrace all three faces of the hunt?
In a lifetime of conflict, one can, should, and, with the onset of age, must. But, in the Crucible, one cannot advance without championing a single aspect.
So basically, what I'm hearing is we'll have waves of quests. We'll be able to complete all of them for each of the tripartite. But eventually we'll have to pick Spider, Stelgar, or Boar. Okay, cool.
Have you made your decision, then?
Need to find an artifact for the Seeking Face.
Every year we lose hunters to the Kohatkana Expanse. Usually they're tracking last year's hunters. But nowhere in my notes have I found out what first enticed Kith to go prowling around that corner of the island. Not surprisingly, the Expanse has become a sacred place to the Seeker. Return with something a failed Seeker before you left behind, and the Spider will be pleased.
What do I have to kill to find an artifact for the Slaying Face?
A group of drifters claiming to be eager contenders showed us their true colors. Days ago, while most of the arena slept, they helped themselves to one of our Slayer relics. Unfortunately for them, the boat they came in on sunk, and it is a very long swim to anywhere beyond the auspices of the Faces.
He chuckles quietly, sharp teeth glinting between his lips.
Sure are a lot of convenient accidents happening around here.
Slay them. Return the relic to the pool of memories, and the Slaying Face will be most pleased.
I'll do anything to find an artifact for the Surviving Face.
The Tiebe o Waiapu has long had a reputation for being inhospitable.
It's an arid, miserable shithole, more like.
Yet, the sounder of boars that call the valley home seemed to flourish there. Were you to return with proof that you had tread the valley's singular dangers, the Surviving Face would be well pleased.
Alright, I'm ready to begin the hunt.
Galarde, I will see the western doors opened for you.
Boom.
I'm here, certainly.
Alright, we're good to go. Out into the wild! The music of this game is very soothing. Is legit. Too legit. Too legit. Hey, hey! Oh, look. There's exactly 3 places to go. I wonder. Alright. Hingaka Ravine. Thick, humid jungle gives way before you to empty air. A vast chasm divides you from further progress, descending to a churning white froth of water below. A bridge of wound rope crosses the gap, planks of dark wood supported between the strands. Examine the bridge. The sun has bleached the wooden planks to a... The thick rope has been well anchored, each line wrapped and tightly tied around one of a pair of heavy stones. The knots have long since crusted over solid. There's no untying them. The sun has bleached the wooden planks to a dull gray. You've been working with your hands for longer than you've been reading souls. You immediately recognize the wood as a material well past reliability. Its discoloration and ragged edges prove obvious signs of rot. Consider the quality of the wood. The wood looks good for burning, but little else. It will not likely hold much weight. Search for another route. Walk the edge of the chasm in either direction, but find no other manner of crossing. The river seems to stretch down to the beach you landed at, separating you from the rest of the island. With time, you could reinforce the bridge from the materials provided by the wilds around you. That would require days of arduous effort. Reinforce the bridge. Fatigue. Days of hard labor ensue. As clinging carefully to the underside of the bridge, you use branches and vines to reinforce it. Eventually, however, the crossing appears significantly safer. Maya was injured and Shodi was injured. Carefully cross the bridge. Step onto the reinforced bridge and it bears your weight with reassuring stability. You begin the crossing. Ropes feel secure beneath your hands, and you move confidently along the structure. The final step onto solid ground, you complete the crossing and find yourself among the thick foliage of the central island. Nice. I feel somewhat just like, why don't we just rest and heal those exhausting wounds? And let's just head into the nearest thing. Wakupoko Loveld. I believe so. This is the inhospitable boar area. This is the spider area. This should be the Stelgar area, I'm assuming. So, let's see how this goes. The forest thins into scattered glades along the western cliffs of Kazuwari. Trees stand sentinel, overlooking the sheer stone plunge into the Deadfire Sea. You turn north, only to enter a large open field ringed with woods and peppered with small clumps of dense forest. Clouds of insects hum over the rotting remnants of discarded carcasses. The path before you looks roughly disturbed. Investigate the scene. Though it's difficult to discern from the chaotic wreck of dirt and grass, it seems like multiple sets of kith tracks came from the direction you did, continued towards the coast to the northwest. Another set of tracks, these from some manner of clawed beast, came from inland and followed the same path as the kith tracks. How's the Cypher class in PoE 2? You're working through PoE 1 as a Cypher. That is a good question. I've played PoE 2. This is my third time playing through PoE 2. I've never played PoE 2 maining a Cypher class. I played one as a Cypher. But I have had Cyphers in my party. For instance, I have used Seraphim as a Cypher. And someone else is a Cypher. Yidwin. I've used Yidwin as a Cypher as well. And it seems strong-ish. I think it depends on the difficulty that you play on. In higher difficulties, and it depends on the build you go, right? So for Cypher, it's really important to be able to, for certain builds, be able to penetrate Fortitude, right? Or to be able to penetrate Will. Will or Fortitude are kind of like the big Cypher defenses that you need to be able to get through. If you're playing, I'm playing on Path of the Damned. If you're playing on a really hard difficulty, then enemies on the hardest difficulty tend to have really, really, really strong fortitude and will saves. So it can be somewhat difficult depending on what your build is. So if you're super reliant on those things, it can make it really hard to play Cypher. But if you're spread out and you have multiple options and you're not just reliant on a single like save, it seems like it's pretty good. Yidwin, for example, I was using Yidwin during the Beast of Winter DLC, and I was using I can't remember the name of the skill, the one that has I think it was in PoE 1, the one that bounces a bunch. And it was really, really strong because it was based off of accuracy, and it just needed to hit a little bit to bounce between a bunch of targets. So it was really good. I think it depends on what you're planning to do and what you're building around, as most games, you know? And also, welcome to the stream. And I hope that answered your question. It's not like an expert answer, but, you know. Yoyoy, thanks for the Prime sub, Woods. How's it going? Let's examine the beast tracks. Adair is absolutely pulling his weight right now. The tracks appear to have been left by a Stelgar, a very large Stelgar. The tracks overlap the Kith tracks and are overlapped by them in turn. It seems the creature was stalking those who stalked it. No boys tonight? No boys tonight. Mitch is off on an escapade with his girlfriend. Fingers crossed on that escapade. So we're doing a solo stream tonight. We played Borderlands 3 yesterday. Examine the Kith tracks. 4 different sets of tracks appear, including a set that looks Orlan. The others are more difficult to narrow down to a specific type of Kith. The tracks seem pretty close together, as if those who left them were moving slowly and carefully. I'm actually really interested in this. Let's follow the beast tracks back the direction they came from. It's slow going, but Adair manages to follow the faint trail through the dust and tall grass. The tracker leads you northwest along the tree line. Adair draws your attention to a pile of Stelgar droppings just off the trail. We could mask our scent with this. Less likely we'd end up getting ambushed by the beast that way. Interesting. You guess you're more focused on Will? There are 2 bouncing beam abilities. You like the Ecto-Psychic Echo Beam because it's faux AoE? Gotcha, yeah. So, I remember the first time I played in PoE 1, maybe the second time. It's been a long time. But I played a Cypher, like pure Cypher. And well, I guess I said pure Cypher. You couldn't multi-class in PoE 1, I don't think. But I did a Will build where I was like charming people and stuff like that. It was really fun. But it also made it kind of like wonky because charming people could end up in these weird scenarios where like you charm too many people and then the fight gets kind of weird because people are all charmed, and it was strange. But since then I haven't really done a will focus build in either PoE 1 or PoE 2. I've always done either a fortitude build or just an accuracy build. A deflection build, I guess it would be. But I think Will might be one of the easier ones to do with PoE 2. Because from what I've seen, enemies tend to have lower Will saves than they do fortitude saves. Especially on the higher difficulties. There are a couple of enemies, obviously, like mages or things like that, that'll have very high will saves and lower fortitude saves, but generally speaking, it's the opposite. Generally speaking, people will have higher fortitude saves and then lower will saves, and it's really hard to break through some of the higher fortitude saves. Odie boy, hello! What are you up to? Says, no, don't touch the microphone, Odie. You're playing on normal because it's your first time playing PoE? Hey, if it's your first time or your 20th time, there's no shame in playing on normal. Absolutely. Whether you're familiar with the style of game, mostly cut your teeth on Dragon Age Origins? Hell yeah! Dragon Age Origins is awesome. Yeah. There's no shame. Like, honestly, the only reason I'm playing on Path of the Damned is because the first time I've played PoE 2 a number of times, and each time I played on, well, I say each time. The first couple times I played on normal or something like that, normal or hard. And the game was just balanced really, really easily compared to like PoE 1. It was way, way easier than it should have been. And that's the only reason I'm playing on Path of the Damned, is because it was too easy. So I was like, let's play on the hardest difficulty just to see if it's actually hard. And it has actually gotten hard. So, yeah. But regardless, like, you know, difficulty is one of those scenarios of like, you play what's most fun for you, you know? Let us put poop upon ourselves. Constantine frowns at the leavings. Now, I did some strange things in my time at the Mare, but this one tops the list. You dab your equipment with an ample helping of the droppings. You're not sure whether or not it masks your natural sense, but it certainly adds to it. Let's continue tracking the Stelgar. You continue along the Stelgar tracks. They're difficult to make sense of. This path seems to have seen the passage of multiple animals going in both directions. If you didn't know better, you'd think they meant it to be confusing. Ooh, only a partial success. Nice. You hear a faint rustling in the tall grass nearby. It sounded too localized to be the wind. Sneak towards the nearest copse of trees. Ah, nice. We've had some tough fights thus far. Mostly the large group of shades, shadows, phantoms, and the like. Where you dunk on regular enemies? That's awesome. Where are you in the... and answer if you want to or not, but where are you in the game, and who's your team? Who do you like so far as like a group? Because there were some characters in PoE 1 that I adored, and I was like, I love these characters, and then there were characters that I was like, I hate these characters. But there were also like characters I felt like I needed to use, you know, depending on what your character is, what your main character is. So, anyways, keeping low, you move almost silently through the grass and into the trees. You hear grass rustling nearby from two different directions. Clever girl. You catch glimpses of muscular, furred forms moving between the trees. I don't really have a sleight of hand on this. Throw a spark cracker into the grasses. No. Confront whatever looks in the grass openly. Stand your ground, steeling yourself for whatever approaches. Let's do it! My body is ready. Oh shit. Oh shit, my body's less ready. Ooh, Savage Panther, Savage Tiger, a Great Stelgar, Savage Tiger, Savage Panther, Savage Tiger. Oof. Oof. We're gonna do that, we're gonna do that. Do this, pull this back. Pull over here. Pull over here. This is gonna be wonky initially. Yeah, that's good. Cool. That's fine, that's fine. Alright, we want to go ahead and use Her Tears Fell Like Rain. Try to AoE as much as we can. You're level 7. You're doing random things around Defiance Bay. Oh my god. The one thing that I love PoE 1 and I love PoE 2, but they have Baldur's Gate syndrome in the fact that they have this big city hub, and you get to that big city hub and then spend 30 hours in that location. Like, you can spend 30 hours in Defiance Bay. You can spend 30 hours in Nekataka. It's crazy. Your party is Adair, Palagina. Great. Love both of them. Kana. My god, I love Kana. I love Kana. Chanter is one of my favorite classes. Your Cypher is main DPS. Awesome. And Durance, because of course you need the Priest. Aloth for random wizardship. Absolutely. You'll likely swap Aloth for other characters. So Durance is one of those characters that I was like, oh, I feel like I have to use Durance because, like you said, of course, I need a priest, right? I need to be able to heal and use certain buffs and remove certain debuffs, and that's what a priest does. But I hate Durance as a, like, he actually has interesting story. I won't say anything, but he has interesting story. But he's just so arsey that I'm just like, ugh, Durance, you kill it for me, man, right? I actually really like Aloth because I love casters, right? I love being able to have, like, 15,000 different spells to choose from, so. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. That sounds, I think that actually might be the team I originally started with, like the first team I used. All right, we're gonna go ahead and do this again. Nice. These things are pretty tough. Okay, we still haven't done that.
That's embarrassing.
Oof. Frickin' oof. Like, these guys hit hard. I mean, I guess they are cats, right? They're DPS cats, basically. Okay, real talk. We don't want to get Adair assassinated, so we can change our location. So we'll go after, like, this Savage Panther over here is Hunter's marked. We'll just pop over here.
Stand together.
Trying to do stuff for the House Dominel. Nice. I guess your rep is too good with the dozens that the Daddy Dominel won't give you work. Ah, you're a bit pissed. Yeah. So you have, what is it? It's House Dominel, it's the dozens, and then it's, is it the Guard, or I can't remember what their name is. It's the Knightly faction within Defiance Bay. So those are the three factions that you basically have to choose between, and if you progress too far with any one of them, you basically cut the others off. So I did not realize that the first time I played the game, and I think I might have done the exact same thing that you did. Like, I got in good with the dozens right off the bat, and then couldn't do anything with the others. The Knights. Yep. Sounds about right.
Right on time.
We want to go ahead and pop Savage Defiance. Nice. Also, can we get Enduring Dance going? And maybe Minor Avatar? Ulu Sand. Nice. I'm gonna go ahead and come over here. That one's marked for hunt. Great. We're gonna go ahead and Bamf. This. You literally only did the first quest with the dozen, and Dominal was like, nah, brah, that's so dumb. Maybe, so there should be, I think you're supposed to be able to do a couple quests with each of the factions before you're forced into a scenario where it's like, you can't work with the others. Maybe there are other, maybe not Daddy Dominal, but maybe some of the lower Dominels will let you do quests for them. Maybe? I don't know. It's been a long time since I've played PoE 1, unfortunately, so I don't have the greatest memory. I remember things generally speaking, but yeah. You get what I'm saying. Oof, oof, oof.
We're dropping like flies.
What do you mean we're dropping like flies? We've lost one person and it's Ashiza. Ashiza doesn't count. Ashiza always dies. We're doing great.
What can I do?
What can I do you?
Let's pop this. Uh-oh. Someone's about to get got.
What can I do? As you wish.
Actually, where did that guy go? Did he peace out? I feel like he peaced out. Strange.
Captain?
How strange.
Guess they don't like my singing.
Oh, no peace here. Oh, God.
Only Miss Bloodwind's gone.
Asshole just went invisible.
That hardly seems fair.
That must hurt.
Damn, she's knocked down forever.
That one. Stand together.
This is,
What can I do?
You're just picking on me now.
Oh, no help here.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes?
All right.
Indeed.
Cinder Shard. The aggressive soul energy raging within the slim slice of steel. Yeah, slim slice of steel. The alcohol is getting to my thick tongue. Seems to warm it from within. Nice. Yeah, it's fine. You've done 2 quests for the dozens. The entry quest and a single expedition. Done the base robbery quest with Dominel. You've had the clear out Heritage Hill quest with the... I haven't progressed that one. Gotcha. Heritage Hill is actually kind of fun. Honestly, I remember that place. It's pretty cool. There are a bunch of like little interactions that happen in that zone. Oddy boy. Oddy boy. Odyssey pop pop. As the bright glow approaches, the rhythm of a heartbeat, your own, not your own, thumps in your head. The light coalesces into the muscular features of a hulking Amawa striding towards you.
Oh, God!
The spirit shrinks away from the glow with a terrifying yelp.
Watcher!
Wahami! The soul roars as if in challenge. He points a thick, gloved finger at you.
I wanted tougher, but you will suffice.
Uh-oh. Who are you?
Who are you? I am the Slayer, the fastest and the strongest.
Interesting. You like going into Ingwithan ruins, so if I have to be locked into the dozens, that's okay? That's fair. I do, like, yeah, the PoE has this, PoE 2 does it some, but PoE 1 does it a lot. Has this kind of air of mystery and mystique, right? Where you're delving into these ancient, forgotten places that that time has lost, and it has a really good atmosphere about it. It's really evocative, and I think it's one of the core aspects that makes PoE 1 a really good game.
That you had to ask speaks ill of your mind.
So what do you want?
Return your trophy to the old man. There is much left ahead of you to hunt, and far more to kill.
The lines of his face lose what definition they possessed, blurring into a featureless mass until the entirety of his form evaporates into thin air.
Well, wasn't he fun?
He seems to want us to kill someone or something.
Do you think this is why Gallowayne didn't want you here? Maybe the Slayer wants you to kill the gods.
Any idea who that was?
He suggested he was the slaying face. Or at least the Slayer. Poor attitude aside, he knew of Ingari, and he knew what you're up to.
Mwah.
You should be careful.
Let's go.
I wonder if we'll run into more like him if we continue with these trials.
I would assume that is the case.
Absolutely.
Nice. Odie. Pets. Pets. You swat what? Ooh. Uh-oh. I'm gonna sneeze. Totally save scum many of your quests and conversations. You have no clue what kind of depth the quest can have, so this is your way of testing. Absolutely, right? So don't get me wrong, I feel like there's a good case for either or, right? If you want to replay a game, I think it's a good scenario to just whatever you choose, stick with it, right? That type of situation. But for me personally, I don't in my day-to-day life now, I don't get the chance to replay many games. So I want to know what the choices are. I want to know what the options are. So I'll save scum to hell and back, right? To be like, look, I want to go about it in a particular manner, and I want to get reactions that feel good to me. So absolutely, I'll save scum constantly. You know? I feel like there's a reason to do either or, but I personally will normally save scum. Alright, we're gonna jump into Kohatakana. This should be the spiders. The deeper you travel into the island's southwestern wilds, the denser the jungle becomes. The air thickens, heavy with humidity, and the impenetrable canopy allows only the faintest light from the sky above. The path narrows into gloom before you, the persistent drone of insects subsiding into soft whispers on the edge of hearing. A twig snaps in the distance. You hear that? Constantine asks. Silence falls. The dwarf hugs his arms around himself and frowns. Gives me the goddamn creeps. Enter the forest. Tendrils of gray fog creep across the roots and vines, slowly rising, reaching as you push further into the island's expanse. The air grows opaque. Quiet murmurs carry on the faint breeze. Just as it reaches its thickest, the foggy morass parts like a curtain, revealing again the path before you. It forks to the left and the right, each path looking roughly as passable as the others. Inspect the paths with a dare. There's no hint of tracks here, neither animal, wilder, or kith, as if this trail has never before been traveled. The paths to either side seem uncannily similar, almost symmetrical, as if a pane of glass runs between them, one the reflection of the other. The trees bend above like long, many-jointed legs, and their limbs entwine with vines into an impermeable tangle. Attempt to backtrack. Oh, after a few hours, the jungle gives way to a forest that, while verdant, proves a welcome respite from the unnatural thickness of the jungle. You found your way back to the edge of this wilderness. 3 hours passed. Enter the forest. Take the right trail. You follow the trail, and quiet rustling sounds murmur from the obscurity of the undergrowth. The path forks again before you. Between the two paths, you find a simple statue, a stone pedestal, topped with the many-eyed face of the Seeker. Examine the statue. The statue has clearly been standing at this fork for ages, the lines weathered, the details worn away by the elements. Moss grows across the base and vines hang down from the spider-like head. The Seeker's eyes stare at you, unblinking. Yet everything about the sculpture, down to the draping foliage, seems impossibly symmetrical. Everything except the one eye missing the statue's right side. Interpret the statue's meaning. The Seeker is rendered with an eye missing, or perhaps the eye has been removed since the statue defaced by some other contestant in the island's games. Constantine examines the figure. Strange, isn't it? Seeker who being presented as blind. Partially so, anyways. Think the Seeker's cult respects the blind any more than the Slayers the feeble? I'm gonna pick the left trail in the hope that the missing eye signifies the incorrect way to go. So left trail. The jungle grows darker as you press ever more deeply into its heart. The path forks again before you, and while the split looks slightly familiar or similar to the last, you can tell it bears enough differences to suggest you are making progress. Nice. Between the two paths, you find a simple statue, stone pedestal, topped with the many-eyed face of the Seeker. Examine the statue's meaning. The Seeker is rendered with an eye missing, or perhaps the eye. Okay. Again, I'm gonna go with the missing eye is the wrong way, correct eye, right way. So we're gonna take the right trail. The jungle grows darker as you press ever more deeply into its heart. The path forks again before you. While the split looks slightly similar to the last, you can tell it bears enough differences to suggest you're making progress. Between the two paths, you find, okay, we're gonna go left. You continue into the growing gloom. To every side grow gargantuan trees, their upper branches disappearing into the darkness above. The path winds among their bases, each as broad as a castle's turret. The path separates again, but this time there's no plinth, no bust of a Seeker. Instead, you find a third path, central, between two others. While the paths to either side appear almost reflections of one another, the central path looks cramped, overgrown, descends into a dark cave. Take the central trail. You enter the cave, making your way through the winding darkness. For a time, you hear nothing save your own breathing. But then the whisper of insects draws you forward, growing gradually until it almost sets the air to humming. You get the positive to sticking to whatever your choices are at the moment. Just don't have much personal desire for the RP choices. I feel you. Absolutely feel you. Like, I get into this mode where I sometimes I really want to heavily like go RP, and other times I'm just like, look, I want the good ending, or I want the mechanical benefit, right? Like, if I'm gonna play this for 10 hours and there's the choice between if I do this quest and there's like 3 choices with the quest, and one is like a purely RP answer, one's a generic answer, and one's an answer that gives me a thing, then I want the answer that gives me a thing. Like, come on, you know? So, I feel you. Absolutely. Alright. 17 hours passed? Holy shit! That would, that just seems like a lot of time, but time doesn't really mean anything in this game. It means, oh, you have to pay your crew wages, which is like less than 100 gold, whatever. I kind of wish time did mean something more in this game. The cave disgorges you into the jungle, though the darkness is so deep you do not at first realize you've emerged. The chittering of mandibles and movement of heavy, Many jointed limbs echo above and around you. Search for enemies. See nothing to attack, nothing likely to attack you. Continue cautiously forward. Higher difficulty will require more efficiency knowledge of which items are critical to the build party difficulty. Can you steal anything that isn't? Absolutely. 100%. Yep, that's absolutely how I play. The path broadens before abruptly terminating into a broad, open clearing. For a moment, it seems as if the jungle itself is aglow, each tree limbed in faint green. But then you see the source of the illumination. A skull, almost a fire with soul energy. You get no chance to retrieve it, however, as spiders descend upon you from the darkness above. Oh shit! It's spider times, y'all. Wait, are they mad? They seem mad. They seem slightly mad. What do we got going on? We got some little spiders, some dire weavelings. We got some dire weavers. Okay. I feel like this isn't gonna be it. I definitely feel like we're gonna get more than just this. Okay. I'm gonna let things go for a second. We're gonna try to assess who the big bads are before we do anything else.
That must have hurt.
Seems okay.
I need something stronger. Coming back up.
So far, this doesn't seem like an incredibly challenging fight. I'm not gonna worry about anything yet.
I'm having some trouble moving through this.
How's this one go again?
Still got it.
Honestly, I kind of anticipate some spiders like dropping down behind us or something like that. So far, though.
Something I hate's coming back up.
I just drank that. I just drank that Ciroc straight.
That's on me.
I forgot to pour anything into it. Oh my gosh. You like the Diablo style comparison of loot, and frankly the loot is there to be gotten. Do you do what you need to get the gear you want? You want the gear to make the mechanics of the fighting more fun, better, interesting. Can't agree more. 100%.
That dog won't hunt.
I try to, especially when I'm playing new content, I try to stay spoiler free, right? Like I don't want to like ruin things for myself, but at the same time, if there's a right way to answer or a right way to do a quest, I want to know what that is so that I can get the gear for it, right? You know? So I feel like I 100% agree with what you're saying, and I play in the exact same way.
Can't make a dent.
Looks like I'm here to stay. You see that? What's on your mind?
Alright, let's get out of the
Say the word.
space.
I've got this, Captain.
How's this one go again?
So are you a fan of other CRPGs? You said you kind of got into things with like Dragon Age Origins.
Stuck over here. That ain't true.
Have you ever played other ones like Baldur's Gate or Tides of Numenera or what is it? Torment. I can never remember that. Thus far, you've only looked up one quest. It was the very first dungeon after Gilded Vale. What is the first dungeon after Giddled Vale? I suppose it depends on where you're going, but yeah. These dire weavers are actually kind of tough, should be told.
That dog won't hunt.
You know what? Let's go ahead and finish this off. Oh, he's immobilized. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, give me a hand here.
I can't do it.
Let's do a dichotomy.
That's just rude.
Oh wow, she just got killed.
I suppose it can't be
Okay,
helped.
we should be fine.
Looks like I'm here to stay.
Oh, they explode into more spiders. That's super not cool.
Stand together.
Doifa, doifa.
You see that, Isha?
That's super not cool. Still seems relatively easy. Oh, right. The Buried Secrets quest where you go through the destroyed temple. Where it has the candles at the end. Yeah, with the dare. I remember that. That was a fun... I remember playing on it and there being like one particular fight with like a bunch of ghosts, like specters or something like that, that gave me a whole bunch of trouble. But it was a pretty cool place. It was like, after the very first Ingwithan ruin, it was this nice introduction to kind of like show how the dungeons are gonna be. It was really cool. It was a very neat little dungeon. Yeah, that's the one you looked up? Absolutely.
Your orders?
Yeah, fuck the ghosts. Absolutely. Right? Fuck the ghosts. Oh. I don't remember which particular fight it was, but like the ghosts, there was one fight that just like the ghost would like, they spawned multiple on me and I wasn't anticipating it, and it just like, it was a real bad situation.
Not even close.
Because I think if you just kind of like dive into that fight or into that dungeon, you don't even have a full party yet. Because if I'm remembering, you at that point in the game, you can go into that dungeon with just like your main character. And then like, what is it? Adair and Aloth, you know? So if you're kind of just like charging forward, you can jump into there and just really get kind of like messed up. Oh, the lighthouse in Defiance Bay. That's another like big ghosty battle.
That's just rude.
Not to alarm you, but
That was a bitch too? Yeah, absolutely that was.
No one noticed that, right?
Man, that's a good game. I should play that game again. I'm not trying to swear off CRPGs or anything like that, but I'm finding that streaming CRPGs, I spend so much time in. Unfortunately, I only have so much time to stream, so it takes me a long time to get through a CRPG because they're just such long games in general. But I do love playing them, like, honestly. It's real good. Alright, let's grab this. A soul shimmers before you, her faint glow unreflected by the trees. Following gossamer silks sheath her form. Flowing gossamer silks sheath her form, and long black tendrils of hair crown her head.
Do you see her too?
Yes.
My blade? It has found me once again.
Oh shit, the Marux Amanth? Oh, fuck! An ephemeral hand reaches out to the Marux Amanth to grasp at the ancient dagger, but the soul stops short.
The crucible still serves its purpose. bringing Gallowaynes
That's really cool.
devoted to battle, bringing battle to Gallowaynes devoted.
That's neat. That because if things had not been so tough, I wouldn't have brought in the A-team. If I hadn't have brought in the A-team, I wouldn't have Shodi with us. If I didn't have Shodi with us, we wouldn't have the Marok Samanth with us.
But a wound, a tear, festers in the heart of this place.
There's so many places where you can get way too in over your head. The game doesn't do a very good job about being like, you sure you want to go here? Absolutely. So, remind me, again, it's been a very, very long time since I've played PoE 1. Does the game have any indication, like if you hover your mouse, your cursor over enemies, does it show like skulls or anything like that? I can't remember if it did that in PoE 1 or if that's a PoE 2 thing. I think that happened in PoE 1, right? I can't remember. A wound. What kind of wound? No, it doesn't? Okay, so see, PoE 2 has this system where if an enemy is too far above your level, right, it'll show up as a skull, right? Like if you hover your cursor over, an enemy that is your level will be nothing. It'll just be plain. If an enemy is one level above you, it'll have a little white skull. If it's 2 levels above you, it'll have 2 little white skulls. If it's 3 levels above you, it'll have 3 little white skulls. And if it's 4 or more levels above you, it'll have 3 red skulls. So there's this kind of like indication that it's like, look, these enemies are really, really strong compared to you. So you can kind of like, you can nudge into places and be like, oh shit, this is a really tough enemy. Let me back out, you know? It just displays enemy health pips and relative defenses to your attack and spell. Gotcha. So that I would say is an improvement between 1 and 2. I mean, still, if you get yourself into like a dungeon and you're kind of like going through and the first couple of battles are hard, but they're doable, and then you get to like the boss of the dungeon and it's like super strong, you're still kind of in the same situation. But, you know, at least there's some little like indicator that, oh, this is a little too tough for me, you know? A wound. What kind of wound?
I ask you to risk life and limb in the crucible. But the desired outcome is not your death. The future of this place depends upon you seeking the champion's crown.
Why?
Souls that prowl this island writhe in disharmony. Without your help,
Why do they writhe in disharmony? What's going on? Of course, before you can tell me. The image falls silent as the woman's form loses definition. Span of a breath, the apparition dissipates entirely, her words unfinished.
Oh, where'd you go? Hello, spirit lady?
Do you sense the turmoil she spoke of?
Not really, but I don't feel trapped here. Exactly. Not like she does. I came willingly, after all. Died willingly, I mean. And I've got you, right?
Any idea who that was?
Not a clue. Perhaps she was the Seeking Face. Or perhaps some other poor soul trapped here on Kazuari.
Let's go.
Perhaps if we complete the other trials, we'll find similar spirits. And hopefully they'll be a touch more cheerful.
Alright, I will say if I feel like I have to help someone, I feel like helping the Seeker over the Slayer. Don't really pay attention to the defenses icon, but it is some additional semi-valuable information. That's fair. I feel you. So the skulls are they're like easily recognizable, I guess is one of my things. So I've had plenty of situations where I'm like, oh crap, that's a red skull. I probably shouldn't be doing this, you know? So it's given me fair warning to kind of like back out and do something else instead. All right, let's jump into nothing, actually. This is going to be the end of this video. If you're watching on Twitch, stick around. We're going to keep playing. If you're watching on YouTube, hope you enjoyed, and we will see you next time. Bye, everybody.